Good afternoon, children. Welcome to our class. Today we are going to see the grammar part. In the grammar of sentences, we are going to see reported speech. Reported speech. So, what is reported speech and how you are going to see? Look at the examples of the reported speech in the sentences given below. So, first of all, you can see some sentences that are being given now in today as examples. So you can say that you can see, you can have to have the examples how they are going to be seen. So I will write these two sentences on this board. You can analyze those examples now. So what are those two examples that are being given? Here is the first one. Maria said, "Where are you going?" Where are you going? Then in the second sentence you can see Jamil said, Jamil said, I am going, I am Jamil said, I am going home. Just see the two examples here. Maria said is there, comma is there, here inverted commas are there. Where are you going? Jamil said, I am going home. Now you want to tell someone else that Maria and Jamil said to each other. So now you can say by these two sentences, you can say that, you can say from these two sentences, now the observation you see. Now you want to tell someone else, you want to tell someone else what Maria and Jamil said to each other. So this Maria and Jamil, they both said to each other. There are two ways of reporting what someone has said. So now you see there are two ways of reporting what someone has said. Then you can simply repeat the speaker's exact words. Now just see here the example is given and you can give the repeat, or you can simply repeat the speaker's exact words. So then you can see here the two analysis of the sentences with the exact words of direct speech. Then now you see now Maria said, when you are going home. Maria said. Again you see one more classification now. You can see those are the direct speech of the words. Then you can see, where are you going? So for that question, for the simplification, you can see that when are you going from? So when are you going from? So you see these two sentences now again, and you can have this analysis of the sentences there. And see here now you can simply repeat. You can say that Maria said when are you going home? Same, the inverted commas and you are closing the sentence. Then in this sentence also you can see Jamil said, I am going home tomorrow. Now see these two sentences now. Maria said, when you are going home. Maria said. And again same Maria and Jamil both are introducing with the words of the same thing there. And Maria said, when are you going home? And Jamil given the reply in the form of these. Jamil said, I am going home tomorrow. Or you can report by paraphrasing the speaker's words in indirect speech. So these speak exactly. These are having of the direct speech. You can say these sentences are in the direct speech of the words there. So these are the direct speech of the words of these two sentences. Maria said, when you are going home, and Jamil said, I am going home tomorrow. Then now you can see, now you can also see for these two sentences how the indirect speech of the sentences are being given now. So indirect speech of the sentences of these two repeated again, how you should have to write. Then you can say Maria asked Jamil when he was going home. Then second one, Jamil replied, he was going. He was going home the next day. This is indirect speech. So now you can see that you can have the report of paraphrasing the speaker's words in indirect speech. Then what are these sentences in the indirect speech? You are going to have your changing of the sentences there. And what are those sentences? Now you can see. Maria asked Jamil in the indirect speech. Maria asked Jamil when he was going home. Corona came. When he was going home. Then similarly, Jamil replied Jamil replied that he was going home the next day. So now you see the observations of the sentences. Maria and Jamil when he was going home. Then you can compare with the Jamil replied. What is the replication? So what is the reply he has given that he was going home the next day. So before the two sentences written down, then those I will repeat now. Maria said, when are you going home? Jamil said, I am going home tomorrow. Then when come to the indirect speech, Maria asked Jamil when he was going home. Jamil replied that he was going home the next day. Now note the differences. Now you can note the differences that are there in the direct and indirect speech of the following examples. Now just orally we shall see that direct speech, when we repeat the speaker's actual words without making any grammatical changes. Now you can see in the direct speech we are going to use quotation marks. So what we are going to use there to show their direct speech. Now you can find the differences when it is actually repeated in the actual words of the person changes. So we use quotation marks to show direct speech. Direct speech is also known as quoted speech. So you can see now direct speech is also known as quoted speech. When you come to the indirect speech, we report the speaker's words without using any or without using quotation marks. So in the indirect speech, in means you are having no quotation marks there. In the indirect speech, you can also say that is the reported speech. We report that someone has said using introductory report verb. So introductory reporting verb. Asked, replied and reported class. So in reported speech, the actual words of the original speaker are usually changed. So when you are going to see in the reported speech and this in the sense indirect speech, then we are going to give the reporting verb as asked, replied, and you can use the reported class there. In the reported speech, the actual words of the original speakers are usually changed. Then you can see that you can have the changing of the pronouns there. You becomes he and I you becomes e and I becomes e. The time and place of indicators, that is tomorrow or the next day. So you can see that indicators that you are going home tomorrow, I am going home tomorrow makes the next day. And the tenses, in the tenses you are going to have the changing are going, was going, am going and was going are the sentences which you are making the changes in the having of tenses there. And once again just see the basic differences you are going to observe in the direct speech and indirect speech. So direct speech of the actual words, in the grammatical changes you are not going to make any changes, and we also use quotation marks in the direct speech. Quotation marks are being observed in the direct speech. Then indirect speech you can use without using quotation marks. In the indirect speech you are going to use without any quotation marks. And the words, when the report is given, the reporting verbs can be changed into ed form, asked, replied, and the reported clause will be there. Then the actual words of the original speakers are usually changed. Then notice size or notice in the pronouns there. You becomes E and I becomes E according to the place of indicators in the time and place there. So that is the you are going to take with the example of tomorrow to the next day. So when tomorrow is given in the direct speech, when it comes into the indirect speech, that comes to the day of the next day. Then when it is particularly coming to the action of these tenses, then was going and am going and was going is the thing that is going to come in the direct speech of the examples there. So these are the 2 or 3 general rules when you are going to apply by the writing of the recognition of the sentences of these direct speech and indirect speech. So this indirect speech also can be called as your reported speech. So in the direct sentences you can use exclamatory marks or the quoting of the words are being given, and in the indirect speech you are using without having any quotation marks there. So when you are going to have your words with changing of direct speech to reported speech, we are going to make having in the changing of these pronouns there. And what are these pronouns you are going to see there. We often have to change the pronouns. So what are these pronouns there? We often have to change pronouns there. And what are those pronouns are there? Now you can see. I, me, my, we, our, us, this, these are direct speech of the words there. I becomes he, me becomes she, my becomes him, and her, his, they, their, them, that, those, etc. in reported speech. Then now I am going to give these how we are going to often change with the pronouns there. I is there, me is there, my is there, we is there, our, us, this and these. So these are the words that are going to be seen in the reported speech. Then Shanti, I work in your office. Then Shanti is the example now. Shanti says, I work in your office. Then Shanti said that she worked in my office. So just see, I work in your office. Shanti said, then Shanti said that we are going to give with the example of Shanti. And Shanti said that she worked in my office. He said to his wife. He said to his wife. What is that one? You just see the example now. I will see you later. So what is this thing now? I will see you later. He is the person, he said to his wife, that is, the words are there. I will see you later. Then what is the changing of the sentence that is being given there now? He told his wife he would see her later. Then what is there now? You can see the changing of these pronouns, he to his, I to he there. Then he told his wife. What he told? He would see her later. Then time and place markers there. And what are those time and place markers there? And what are these? Again, depending upon these markers, you can see. Depending upon the situation, we may need to change the words indicating the time and place. So depending upon the time and the situation, we may need to change. What we may need to change? We may need to change the words by indicating the time and place. So what we are coming here just now. He said that we are coming there just then. He said that they are coming just then. Then now you are going to see the table which is being given in the making of the differences of this time and place makers there. Then the following